What do you do when you're desperate to move but you just can't sell your house? It's been on the market for months but all the viewings have dried up. Well, what you do is you stop selling and start swapping.
House swapping is the latest trend to hit the property world. With around 10,000 properties registered with swap websites, it's a brilliant way to avoid the dreaded property chain and make that move onwards. We'll be meeting people who want to swap their home permanently.
But I love to cook. Katie loves to entertain. So.
Right.
Love to eat the food.
Yeah.
And we'll show them 3 properties to find their perfect match.
Welcome to my 4-bedroom detached house.
I hope you like it as much as I do.
If you'd like to swap...
It'll be great to chat soon.
Bye.
After a day spent road testing each other's properties and lifestyles, we'll bring them to the negotiating table where our straight-talking negotiator Sunita will help them thrash out a deal.
They're not building any more properties there. You know this.
Yeah, I accept there's a premium. Not necessarily agree that a premium is over 100%.
Before we find out if they'll swap homes for good. Hello and welcome. Today I am in historical Hampshire. Why is it historical? Well, a lot of famous historical people were born here, like Jane Austen, Charles Dickens and Isambard Kingdom Brunel. And I'm in a very pretty part of Hampshire known as the Test Valley, which also has a claim to fame, which is the quality of its trout fishing. But we're not here to swap quirky facts, we're here to swap houses, and here is a couple who want to do just that. Company director Mark, amateur photographer Katie and little Charlie live in this stunning 4-bedroom converted coach house in Upper Clapford in Hampshire. With Mark spending much of the working week in London, they'd like to swap to a lower-priced family home, release some equity and buy a crash pad in the city as well. So that's them, and this is the house they want to swap. I've got a feeling it used to be a cottage for a coachman. Don't ask me how I know that, let's just call it intuition. Right, are you ready to see the property? In 3, in 2, in 1. I love making a grand entrance through double doors, marvellous. And will you take a look at this awesome reception room? I love. I would imagine this is where the coaches originally came in. They would have parked here. So it's like a converted garage, but a posh one, obviously an old one. And in fact, it's very modern now because up there you have a projector and then this crazy contraption in the corner. Yes, it is a wood burner, but again, it's a very fancy special one because that's where you burn your wood. Up here, you use this for, any guesses? For cooking your pizza. And if you think I'm going crazy, I'm not, because look, here is your pizza thingy, and that is the technical term for it. It is known as a pizza thingy. Wow, take a look at this incredible dining room, come photographer's studio. Unfortunately, I'm a wee bit camera shy, but however, it seems like the camera loves me. What I like about this space is it's got the beams, it's got the fireplace, so you can certainly entertain a lot of guests in it. And talking of entertaining spaces, shall we see the kitchen?
Strike the pose.
And what a picture-perfect kitchen it is, with all its fancy gadgets and gizmos. I like the fact also there's a lot of space where you can walk around preparing your food. I think, tell me what you think, I think it's very Nigella Lawson, don't you? Can you imagine her here presenting her show? When I'm throwing a dinner party for a few friends, I've only got 6 minutes to do it. This is what I like to do. I like to go to the fridge and pull out a frozen pizza and put it on the fire. And think about it, if you live here, you actually can do that.
Strike the pose.
Now, this is actually quite an unusual property because not only do you have this staircase, but you have one at the other side of the house that takes you up to a separate wing where you'll find 2 very good-sized bedrooms and a very large bathroom with a fancy roll-top bath. But up here we have a nursery. And is this a cupboard? No, it's a nursery ensuite. And what self-respecting toddler doesn't want an ensuite? Well, I don't think this master bedroom needs any introduction, does it? Look at the size of it. And then over here we have another ensuite, but this time, this one's got a fancy spa bath that squirts water where you least expect it.
outside is a lovely garden that's been landscaped with an inch of its life.
Also, you need to know this property comes with a gigantic garage and a rather nifty office, which does somewhat beg the question, why do our couple feel it is no longer the stable choice for them?
The locked, semi-detached, four-bedroom converted coach house in Hampshire has been valued at £725,000. With Charlie busy playing, it's time for the grown-ups to have a grown-up chat.
So, Mark and Katie, we've seen your house. Most of us now are green round the gills because it is beautiful. So, therefore, why do you want to swap?
I work in London, and commuting back and forth from here is sometimes difficult. So ideally, what we'd like to do is buy a flat in London for the week. So to sort of downsize and for a bit of equity would be really good as well.
In terms of a swap house, what is it you would like?
Preferably a kitchen, dining, living space integrated into one. Decent size, master bedroom with an ensuite. That's really sort of the main
somewhere
things.
to entertain and somewhere...
Yeah, we like having people over. I love to cook. Katie loves to entertain. So,
loves to eat the food.
Yeah, so it's...
And what about your hobby, you know, the photography? Do you need a space for that still, or...?
It would be useful to have, yeah.
Be nice.
It'd be nice to have. Or a garage or somewhere, space, even if it's an outbuilding.
Yeah?
An outside space somewhere.
What about things like, I mean, because this is a beautiful period property, it's a quirky building, it's been converted. Are you fussy about that kind of thing? Not fussy, no, I'm going to change the word choosy, particular, about that kind of property. What do you think?
We like the old sort of style. So
Unless it was really, really quirky.
Yeah.
I think it's
OK, it's got to have a whiff of quirk about it.
Yeah, or something, but maybe cutting-edge modern inside.
And where are we looking? Where would you be interested in looking at?
Yeah, we're quite relaxed. It's more about the place and the feel of the area.
OK, and very importantly, how much is this on the market for? And how much do you want to swap for?
This is on the market at $725.
Right.
We are looking to spend a lot less because the ideal is to buy another place in London.
Right.
So maybe something between 4 and 5.5 would be good.
OK.
Free up some
We do have some rather nice houses. Are you ready to see them?
Absolutely.
3 houses this way. First up, where are we going, do you think? We're leaving Upper Clapford to go to Upper Clapford.
Really? Oh, really?
This very same village. All right, so this is Diane and her house.
Hi, my name's Diane. Welcome to my 4-bedroom detached house. I live here with my husband Peter and our cat Tootsie. Come on, let me show you around. This was a wow factor for me when I came to look at the house. From the kitchen, we can open what you think might be a store cupboard, but there's a lot more to this house than meets the eye. We have a hidden staircase. This was a surprise when we came to see the house. Husband and I get on the sofa at night, all wrapped up and snugly, watching husband's large flat screen television, as they all have to have one, don't they? Back in the hallway, we have downstairs loo, and we have formal dining room. The log burner in winter makes it feel really cosy. It's great for displaying my artwork. Loves the master bedroom, as do I. It's a nice room. It feels nice. It's got a nice ambience about it. The other selling point for me was the ensuite bathroom. We have automatic lighting as you walk into the room. Got a fabulous walk-in wet room shower, and you can actually get 2 people in there as well at the same time. Would you believe yesterday we were having lunch out here and barbecuing, but hey, still beautiful. This is one of the attractions of this house for me. The fact that we had this building that I could use for part of the year anyway as an art studio.
Diane and Peter's home is a 4-bedroom detached property with art studio in Upper Clapford in Hampshire. It's been valued at £540,000. So what would they like to swap to?
We're looking for a house that we're going to spend probably up until our retirement. We're very open-minded about it, and we look forward to seeing what people have got to swap. Well, now you've seen our home. We hope you love it as much as we do. So come see us and swap with us. Bye!
What did we think of it?
I think from the inside, the kitchen looks lovely.
Yeah, it looks like it's been done nicely. With the attention to detail, walking in with the lights going on, that's always nice to see.
I sense you're interested but not jumping for joy.
It's a little bit modern from the
The
outside.
problem is you live in a beautiful converted coach house and stables.
Yeah,
So what you'd need me to do now is show you a converted coach house or stables. Coming up next is a converted stables, which you might be interested in. And we're staying in Hampshire. And this is Mike and his property.
Good afternoon, my name's Mike and today I'm going to show you around my property in Bishop's Waltham. I hope you like it as much as I do. Firstly, the property is from that corner there to the very corner over there. And both these properties were stables that belonged to Northbrook House, which is the rather large building over there. I'm a Navy man. I've been in the Royal Navy for about 38 years now, and this is what I'd call my mess deck. And this is the galley. This is where all the cooking takes place. I'm a particularly good cook, actually, if I say so myself. No kitchen would be complete without a good old bottle of rum. No longer served in the Royal Navy, but till 1971 we'd be able to drink about this much every day. And now for the top deck. There are 3 bedrooms in the house. This is the main one. It has an ensuite. It's currently occupied by my daughter, who's currently getting the paperwork through. She'll be emigrating to New Zealand in a couple of months' time. Into the captain's cabin, which I chose because it's got 2 nice feature windows. The sun coming through this window here in the morning, and should you happen to be in bed in the afternoon because you've kept a night watch, the sun will be coming through the other window in the afternoon. This is the garden. I like to refer to this as the quarterdeck. This is where I would plan to put up a ship's bell up on the wall. Also, I might have a couple of cannons, one there, and possibly a flag here, so that I could look out into the horizon. Only joking. Bishop's Waltham is a beautiful location. It's a fantastic, lovely little hamlet in the country. If you go down the local high street, you'll see that there is a shop of every description it would require. This house has been valued at £430,000.
Mike's house is a converted stable building with 3 bedrooms and a large garden in the pretty village of Bishop Waltham. So what does he want for his swap?
I'm now coming to the end of my time in the Royal Navy. I'm going to work in London after that, and although Bishop's Waltham is beautiful, I need to make my commute to London a bit easier so that I can get up a bit later in the morning. Well, that was the tour, and if you like the property and are interested in the swap, then please let me know.
So, what do we think? Was it ship-shape and Bristol fashion, or... I can't even think of a pun, I'm not going to do it. What did you make of it?
The garden was nice.
Yeah, a really nice garden. I mean, it's a beautiful building, but I think it's probably...
modern.
Yeah.
More modern inside than...
It's weird, isn't it?
previous one,
You
which
see, I
is-
tried giving you a converted stables. I can't tempt with the fact the property borders the South Downs National Park,
Oh, does it? That's nice,
interesting.
actually.
Yeah, that is interesting.
which is a lovely, great spot for Sir Charlie and for photography.
Yeah, yeah.
The town is a lovely medieval town with lots of different facilities, and it's the head of the River Hamble.
Brilliant selling. The Hambles, fantastic selling.
Oh, that's where Bishop's
That's where it
Waltham
is.
Okay, so shall we move on?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you know where we're going next?
Upper Clapford.
Good guess, but wrong. We've already done that one. We're going to Pilly in the New Forest.
Oh, fantastic.
So, Andrew and Alison are going to show us around their property, and I think you may like this one quite a lot.
Hi, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Alison.
Welcome to our home in Pilley.
Please, come on in and have a look around.
Changed lots when we first bought it. When we bought it, it was a near derelict cottage, completely taken back by the forest. Bear Show renovated it and also extended it to give us our family space. Here we are in the room that's probably seen the most change since we bought the house. It now has, as you can see, double height feature. Here we are in what we consider the hub of our house, our kitchen and dining area. So we have lots of space for when we're both cooking, and also we use it when the kids are creating, whether it be painting, modelling, you name it, it all happens in this room. Now we find ourselves in the smallest bedroom for the smallest member of our family, my son. Down here we have his own very unique built-in wardrobe. And this is our bedroom. We've both got the exposed beams up into the ceiling, views over the forest, and also through here we have our ensuite bathroom. The sheds here were the old donkey sheds. In here is my escape. I can look out both over the garden and hopefully also over my children. So, a nice place to work.
We are in Pilley, which is a very small village outside Lymington. I particularly enjoy living in this community. It's a wonderful village and we've made a lot of friends here.
We're also very fortunate in this location where we have the open forest just on our doorstep here with both the wildlife roaming free and also some lovely walks and cycle routes. We now have it marketed at $550,000 for fast sale.
Andrew and Alison's home is a 4-bedroom extended cottage with outhouses in the beautiful New Forest. So what's their ideal swap?
We adore the house, however, work commitments mean we have to relocate further north. So that's our house.
We hoped you liked it.
If you'd like to swap,
It'll be great to chat soon.
bye.
Au revoir. New Forest first up. What do we think about the New Forest?
Love the New Forest.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time looking for houses in the New Forest.
Okay. Charlie, New Forest. Do we like New Forest? So, if we like the New Forest, what about the house itself?
The house itself actually looks nice.
It looks like a great plot.
Good location.
Yeah, good plot.
Great plot, Mark, implies you want to knock it down and build something else.
No, certainly not.
Not that you'd admit it.
No, I think it's a great plot, and I think it's got a lovely garden. And I mean, they seem to have sympathetically converted it inside as well, which is nice to see.
So that was more your cup of tea?
Definitely.
So, you need to choose a property, which one you'd like to do the swap day with. I will disappear, give you some thinking time, and I'll see you ever so shortly.
Okay,
Great, thanks.
This is what I hate the most, the not knowing which one they're actually going to choose, because I think, you know, they were all possibles, weren't they? They were all options. If I was them... Well, the last one, I mean, it had the large garden, didn't it? I think they were tempted by that. But then, having said that, of course, they could just move into this very village, and I think that would be quite easy for them. But then again, having said that, they already live in the converted stables, so the second property, which was a converted stables, would also seem apt. But I guess we have to give them a little bit of time to think about it. And in the meantime, I'm just going to continue fidgeting my way around the garden.
Which one did you like? 1, 2 or 3?
The New Forest.
Whilst Katie, Mark and of course Charlie decide which property they'd like to swap with, Sunita, our house swap negotiator, has some advice. Sunita's been a property negotiator for over 10 years, helping hundreds of clients move onwards and upwards.
If you want to move house quickly, then house swapping could be the answer. Now, there are several websites out there that could help you find your perfect match. You will, of course, still have to have a HIPS report and you will be paying stamp duty. But, crucially, you get to avoid a chain, and if you're not on with an estate agent, you avoid estate agent fees.
Sunita's invaluable knowledge will help our swappers negotiate a deal. But first, we need to find out who Katie and Mark have decided to swap with.
And then there were 3. I've given you quite a long time. Have we come to a decision?
We have?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it an easy decision?
No.
No. Why not?
There's 2 that we really quite liked.
Okay.
Certain aspects of.
Yeah,
Right.
The first one in Upper Clapford was nice.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah,
And the other one you liked is?
the one in the New Forest.
Okay. So, which one are you going to do the swap with?
I think we're going to go for the one in the New Forest.
Yeah.
Are you? Yeah. I thought you might have been a little bit lazy and gone for the one nearby.
I was tempted to be
Yeah,
able
we
to
were
walk over the
tempted.
road. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think we always wanted to
the
do the New
location.
Forest.
Looks like a lovely location.
Yeah, good for this one.
Yeah. Charlie?
You can feed the horses.
What does the horse say? No, what? Oh, Charlie, yeah.
Well, enjoy your swap day with the cockerels and the horses of New Forest.
It's time to swap homes for the day. With Mark at a hospital appointment, it's just Katie and Charlie who have the chance to check out Keeper's Cottage in the New Forest. On the other side of the county, Andrew and Alison are off to inspect the semi-detached converted coach house in the village of Upper Clapford. They have the chance to exchange lifestyles for the day before they decide if a permanent swap is on the cards. The charming Keeper's Cottage is in the picturesque village of Pilly.
Charlie, look, here's the house.
What in there?
No, not there. Here. The family want to move to a lower price property to release some equity for a London crash pad. So, what will they make of this?
Should we go and have a look?
Yeah.
Look, this is pretty, isn't it?
It's a butty.
Do you think there's anybody in?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Come on then.
No.
To the kitchen. This has been nicely done, hasn't it?
Apples.
Apples on the table, that's right. Look, they've left a little message for us. So welcome to our home. To try and make your visit as fun and relaxed as possible, we have tried to keep... Yeah, there's a cat, isn't there? We do hope you enjoy looking around and look forward to meeting you on Friday.
So we're off to a rosy start in the New Forest. 35 miles away, Andrew and Alison are on their way to the Coachman's cottage in the pretty village of Upper Clapford in the Test Valley.
It seems to be a lovely village. It's very quiet and peaceful. Well, this looks a lovely house, doesn't it?
Promising first impressions, but what will they make of the quirky interior?
Oh, well, this is a very nice entrance hall. Wow, look at those beams.
Yeah.
Beaming with delight.
See, he's allowed his projector.
I sense a marital tiff coming on.
He's luckier than you, isn't he?
He is luckier than me. So coming here, I get my way.
That's what you think, Andrew. In the New Forest, Katie and Charlie are checking out the rest of the downstairs.
Oh, this is a sitting room. This is lovely, isn't it? A lovely big space.
This down.
You want to... Oh, look at all these toys. This is nice. It's nice having the stairway.
Daddy on the phone.
Oh, Daddy's on the phone, is he? What does Daddy say?
Daddy says stop playing and get on with the house tour. In Upper Clapford, Andrew and Alison have discovered the unusual setup in the dining room.
Not something we often see in a dining room.
They must do photography.
I'm guessing so. And catering.
And today's special is the kitchen.
My word, this is a nice room.
Somebody's labour of love, clearly. And how do you fancy polishing stainless steel every single day?
I think that silence speaks volumes. Across the county, Katie is doing some snooping of her own.
Oh, a really nice built-in wardrobe. Somebody wears a lot of ties.
Yeah.
You'd like this to be your bedroom, would you? With the cat? Yeah. You're testing out the beds. Are they good?
Time to test out upstairs.
What's in there? Lots of toys.
Speaking of which,
The race car there, workshop there.
Bicycles there.
Kid junk there.
Well, that's Andrew sorted. What about something for Alison?
Gosh, this is lovely. Oh wow, I love their bathroom.
That certainly is some decadence, isn't it?
Yeah. You'd never get me out.
At Keeper's Cottage, Katie's also found a place she can escape to for some peace and quiet.
Wow, this is nice. Really nice room. Nice and big and spacious. The views across the forest.
It's also a chance for Katie to reflect on her first impressions.
I think it would be nice to change the layout to have more bedrooms upstairs and maybe make the kitchen diner slightly bigger, maybe with some sort of conservatory going out into the back garden. It'd be interesting to talk to somebody about whether we could extend the upstairs to make it into a 4-bedroom place. Oh, the cat's coming in. Oh, he listened to you, Charlie.
So there are big plans afoot at Keeper's Cottage. While at Coachman's Cottage, Andrew's also got designs on a feature of the property.
If the kids misbehave,
We could throw him in the
we
well.
can throw them down the well.
Note to self, never annoy Andrew.
So this is the entirety of the garden.
My vision was to have quite a much larger garden.
Very nicely done to be easily maintained.
Yeah.
Easy to maintain means more time to spend tinkering with cars in that garage, Andrew. Back in the New Forest, we've sent in local planner Jerry to help Katie with her ideas for the cottage.
So, having had a look around, it looks like the kitchen's quite small. And I just wonder if there's any potential to extend that.
I would say there is still some scope to extend the house. And there's a limit to what you can extend it to.
Yeah.
The policies are quite strict in that regard.
Is that because we're in the New Forest?
It's because we're in the New Forest, and it's obviously a sensitive area.
So there could be the option to extend Keeper's Cottage if Katie and Mark go ahead with the swap.
Where are you driving to? London. OK.
I think Charlie's off to let Daddy know the good news.
Go! Whee! Yeah!
It's time for Andrew and Alison to go out and about, and the local area is ticking the red box.
It even has red telephone boxes still.
There's heritage for you.
Yeah.
5-bed, half-acre detached, country view 695.
Uh-oh, Andrew's checking out the competition. But luckily, he and Alison have been distracted by the local wildlife.
You fancy the chance of catching all that, do you?
That's amazing.
Nothing would give me more excitement and pleasure than going fishing right now.
Upper Clapford is in the Test Valley, which is world-renowned for its trout fishing. Your wish is our command.
Well, what makes this the best fishery in the UK, then?
And we're just renowned for the larger sized fish.
So what other kind of activities do you think we should be looking to experience around the Test Valley?
Well, there's plenty of cycling, walking around the areas. Lots.
You've caught something. Well done.
Fantastic. Has it come off yet?
Catch the day.
It would seem that Alison is quite literally hooked. On the other side of the county, a wander round Pilly Village leads Katie and Charlie to a nearby playground and a chat with a local mum.
It happens to be one of the best areas to bring up children. You've got so many activities. You've got the New Forest that has horse riding, you've got the Solent, and you've got lots of sailing clubs. Mother and toddler group just here on a Wednesday.
OK, so this is the village hall?
Yeah, the mums are fantastic. They welcome you in, give you all advice on what to do. It's a great place to live. I wouldn't live anywhere else.
Well, with such a glowing recommendation, I know I'm tempted. But when it comes to house swapping, it's all swings and roundabouts. And with the one-day swap almost at an end, how are our families feeling about the prospect of a permanent swap?
I think the children would love the house. I think they would be running round and round and round it all the time. And I know that Lauren would be skidding across the floor.
It's a fantastic location. Like, the New Forest is just gorgeous. So it's things to talk to Mark about. There's lots to think about.
There's an awful lot to talk about. The big question is a permanent swap on the cards? Only tomorrow will tell. So, after all that snooping, do our families want to swap homes and change lifestyles for good? And change is important. Without change, there'd be Well, there'd be no butterflies. And talking of such beautiful creatures, Sunita, our negotiator, is on hand to see if a deal can be done. Sunita Shroff has been helping people find their dream properties and agree the best price for them for over 10 years. She'll be using her expertise to negotiate a deal for our swappers.
Negotiating can be a tricky and even emotional process, and the properties won't necessarily be valued at the same price. So it's my job to get both sides to agree on a fair and realistic price to swap. But house swapping isn't all about the money. It's about avoiding that awful chain, potentially avoiding the estate agent's fees, and of course of months of your property being on the market. So if both sides are prepared to negotiate, they could walk away with a great deal.
So let's remind ourselves of what Sunita has to bargain with. Mark and Katie have the semi-detached converted Coachman's cottage in Upper Clapford in Hampshire, valued at £725,000. They want a new family home that also enables them to release equity for a city pad. Andrew and Alison have the pretty cottage in the sought-after New Forest, valued at £550,000. Due to work commitments, they want a new family home a little further north. So first things first, what's the feedback?
So, Katie, you went and visited Keeper's Cottage with your young son, Charlie. What did you think?
It was quite cottagey. It's nicely designed inside. The master bedroom was very nice. Had an ensuite bathroom upstairs, and it was fairly sizable with a great view. Location itself within the village was really nice.
And what about the cons, if any?
The layout of the house, I think, is probably the biggest con for me. And I think just how compact it feels. I guess we've been spoiled by our spacious living area.
Do you think there's a way around that?
The impression I got from talking to Katie and the planner was that there was some scope for extending, and I think sort of making it more open plan downstairs is something that you were keen to explore.
So Andrew and Alison, you went to Coachman's cottage in the Tess Valley. What did you think?
Internally, the property was beautiful. They had done it exceedingly well.
The way that they have to retain the character of the property.
Okay.
I mean, when you walk around outside and agree inside, it's certainly not your average box.
Tell me about the cons.
Well, I think the garden was smaller than we would ideally like. And they'd done it very nicely.
Now, I know the garden isn't massive, but you have got that village green out the front.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there is, and I think our children would actually really enjoy playing out there. And it's not actually detached.
I think that ties into, because I always want to have space to kind of expand and grow. I think in terms of what they have there inside the house, it's hard to think we've been done better, to be fair to them. It's been done fantastically well.
With the feedback out of the way, it's time to get to the heart of the matter, the money.
Their property has been valued at £550,000. What do you think of that?
Initially, when we saw the video, Mark's first reaction was, how much do you think it's worth? And we said 450. And when we found out it was 550, we were quite surprised, I think.
Yeah.
And
that's putting it mildly, I think.
Well, I think it's actually quite a good valuation. Just based on my research in the area, 550 I think is quite fair.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it on a square footage basis and compare it to ours, I mean, you pay a slight premium for the New Forest, agreed, but I mean, it's just over 1,200 square feet. That's twice as expensive per square foot.
But New Forest is expensive.
Yeah, but not twice as expensive.
Bearing in mind works that have been done, potential that's still there.
Yeah, no, I completely appreciate that, and obviously, I think if you fall in love with a property, then I completely understand why they feel that's a realistic valuation. From our point of view, I don't think 550 is even remotely realistic. A valuation more around 450 is probably, pretty much the top of what we'd be prepared to look at.
Mark and Katie's property is valued at £725,000. What do you think of that?
It's a tough one, actually. We did have a walk to Stockbridge and looked at some windows there with some estate agents, just to get a feel. And I guess, being honest, it seemed to be in the ballpark.
I think that's very generous of you. I feel, based on research in and around the area, speaking to different agents, that it's closer to 550,000.
Wow.
Which is a substantial drop.
That is
it is a huge drop.
A massive drop.
So, what will they think of Mark and Katie's valuation on their property?
Yours has been valued at 550,000, which I think is a very fair valuation. And they feel they would like to start it at 450,000.
They can start it.
Have we had a view? Okay.
Well, obviously, I don't think we would accept 450.
No.
The forest isn't a cheap area to live in.
So I'm conscious not to get too hung up on both valuations, but look at the difference between the two, maybe.
I feel that there is zero differential between both properties.
I doubt they feel like that.
Clearly, from their point of view, I'm sure they still believe that theirs was 725. Ours was 450. That would be a gap of 275, which clearly would be, anarchic.
Especially as you consider that the two properties are very closely matched in true value. Well, your opinion of the values.
Undoubtedly, the truth lies somewhere within those. Being a simple kind of guy, if we go from 0 to 275 as a range, maybe we start at 150 and see where we go from there.
As the differential.
As the differential, yeah.
Katie and Mark valued Keeper's Cottage at £450,000, giving a differential of £275,000. But Andrew thinks the differential is only £150,000. So how will they take the news?
OK, so what Andrew and Alison proposed was a differential, so a spread, of £150,000.
No, it's ridiculous.
I think a straight swap would be accurate.
Based on what?
Based on speaking to agents in the area, comparables, it's just the location of your property. The property inside is just amazing.
Yeah.
But the actual situation is not... You're almost the best property in the area.
Yeah.
Really, aren't you? Would you not say that's fair?
Yeah, but sort of our property and versus what you're being offered for the premium on a square footage basis in the New Forest, I just don't think it's worth 100% premium.
I don't think we can talk square footage for the simple reason you're talking about two very different areas. New Forest, they're right by the cattle grid, so that is just like prime location.
Sure.
They're not building any more properties there. You know that.
Yeah, I accept there's a premium. I would just not necessarily agree that a premium is over 100% per square foot for a property that isn't as nicely finished and frankly has got much smaller rooms.
I mean, the forest really does demand high prices.
I agree.
And it
What sort of
retains its
premium
value.
do you think that the forest demands over a standard location?
100%.
You think it's 100%
Yeah,
difference?
I'll stand by that.
Okay.
But that's my opinion.
Sure.
£150,000 differential, you're saying that's completely off the graph.
Yeah, I mean, it's about whether we think that we'd like to swap that place and 150 grand for ours, and frankly, we wouldn't.
So where do we go from here, I wonder?
If it was north of 200, then we'd probably consider it seriously.
Well, I have to say 150,000 was rejected as the differential. Mark and Katie would like a differential somewhere north of 200,000.
Right, so he clearly doesn't agree with your valuation of their property.
The differential between our two asking prices is only 175. So the swap would never be more than that.
Mark is very much a man that is dealing in square feet. So for him, the fact that it's 3,500 square feet, that is what makes his property so special. Yeah. I, on the other hand, feel that it's a location game here.
He will not get his square footage in the New Forest for the price he's looking at.
All we can do is meet in the middle, and what I suggest is put 175,000 as the differential on the table. You have a think about it. I'm going to go put that to Mark and Katie, and they have a think about it. Now, I did take north of 200 to Andrew and Alison, and they rejected that. So, what I've left them with is 175,000 as the differential.
I guess I can see that your role is to mediate and to negotiate, and obviously a sensible place to finish up is halfway, or a perception of halfway between the two. So yeah, I understand.
And also something to bear in mind is 175,000 is the original differential. Okay, Christian. Final deal is now on the table.
Okay.
Neither party would budge, so I have suggested 175,000 is the fair price to swap.
Okay, so you've put that deal on the table, and do you think, gut feeling, that they're going to go for it?
Do you know, I can't gauge with this one. They're playing their cards so close to their chests.
Right.
Finally, after 5 hours of negotiations, there's a deal on the table. Andrew and Alison's cottage in the New Forest, plus £175,000 in exchange for Mark and Katie's cottage in Upper Clapford. If they go for the swap, both parties will achieve their original asking price. But with neither of our cautious couples giving anything away, who knows which way the dice will fall? It's decision time.
So, here we are, all assembled together. I'm flanked by 2 great big golden keys.
Yes.
We're about to turn them and find out if we have a swap. I met you guys first. I think it's only polite I ask you to turn the key first. In 3, 2, 1.
We actually have a proviso to ours.
Oh, okay.
But this is our colour.
Okay, we have a swap. What's the proviso?
The proviso is that if you want to go ahead, then the stamp duty has to be paid as well.
Okay. So, Alison and Andrew, there's some last-minute changes to the deal. I'm sweating. I don't really want to change, but I'm quite nervous. Let's find out what you think. In 3, 2, 1, a knot. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm fuming. I'm fuming. Why do we have a deal here and not a deal here?
And the house is fantastic. I mean, it's been marvellously renovated and converted. The
Beautiful
interior
house.
space, fantastic.
Beautiful, yes.
It's just that we had a couple of vague key requirements for looking for our next house.
Right.
One of which was it being detached, and secondly being a fairly large garden with privacy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can change everything else about that house. We can't change those 2 things.
Well, I have to say, you both have extraordinarily beautiful homes, and thank you very, very much for sharing them with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
What we looked at and what we ended up, psychologically preparing to swap for was not something that we would ever have considered previously. So I guess it's shown us that we're actually quite open to considering things that we wouldn't otherwise consider.
It has made us think about the whole housing market as it is at the moment, and the possibility of swapping, and thinking about the value of our house and being realistic in the current market.
Well, it's a big sigh from me. But many of life's failures are people who didn't realise how close they were to success when they gave up. Which is why I will not give up, and I hope to see you next time on House Swap. What do you do when you want to move but you just can't sell your house? It's been on the market for months and all the viewings have dried up. Well, what you do is you stop selling and start swapping.
House swapping is the latest trend to hit the property world. With around 10,000 properties registered with swap websites, it's a brilliant way to avoid the dreaded property chain and make that move onwards. We'll be meeting people who want to swap their home permanently.
I'd like to live in the best areas, but
wouldn't we all? And we'll show them 3 properties to find their perfect match.
Hello. Today we're going to show you around. We hope you like it.
If you'd like to swap, perhaps we'll speak soon.
After a day spent road testing each other's properties and lifestyles, we'll bring them to the negotiating table where our straight-talking negotiator, Sunita, will help them thrash out a deal.
He does like a big bathroom.
And I'd like to have a Lamborghini parked outside, but that's not going to happen, is it?
Before we find out if they'll swap homes for good.
Hello and welcome. Today I'm in a spa town. No, not Bath, not Cheltenham, not Malvern, but Epsom in Surrey. Yes, Epsom is a spa town. In its day, it used to attract all the big celebs like Samuel Pepys, King Charles II. He couldn't get enough of the water. Today, however, Epsom is more likely to attract London city slickers, wanting a more slower-paced life and something a little greener. which begs the question why today's house swapper wants to leave. Introducing Richard.
They seek him here.
Business entrepreneur and fitness junkie Richard lives with his 2 lodgers in this Victorian 3-bedroom house in Epsom, Surrey. Having moved to the commuter belt a few years ago, Richard is missing the bright lights of London, and inspired by his latest venture, a clothes-swapping website, he's decided to do the same for his house and swap to a property in the city.
So that's Richard, and this is the house in question, and here are the front door keys. So put your hands up if you want to have a snoop. Oh, perfect. Right, in we go, and straight into the lounge. Or should one say sitting room? I'm never sure which is posh and which one's not. OK, it's got all the characteristics one would expect to find in a house of this period. You've got the bay window and the lovely period fireplaces with its lovely sinewy detail. And it's also got some things that you wouldn't expect to see, like a wardrobe, a chest of drawers and a papier-mâché crocodile. Right, here we have a second reception room. I guess originally this used to be the dining room. You've got access there out into the garden. But I think what's really interesting in here is that you would expect me to say the focal point of the room is the period fireplace. It's actually the bright blue fridge freezer. The kitchen is relatively new. It's these white, bright, neutral cupboards. And to be honest, there's not a lot one can say about this space. But there is a lot one can say about this space. Yes, it's the old bathroom off the kitchen routine. Personally, I think it's a positive thing being able to shower and keep an eye on your poached eggs, but others, well, they're far more prissy and pedantic than I.
Upstairs, there are 2 double bedrooms currently housing Richard's lodgers.
And finally, it's the master bedroom. And I see, once again, it's painted in Richard's trademark colour of choice, Arctic white. And I'm glad I know this is Richard's house, because after counting 27 pairs of shoes upstairs, I could have easily have mistaken him for Imelda Marcos.
Outside is a reasonable-sized garden with lots of potential, currently slightly lacking in the grass department. Richard's 3-bedroom Victorian semi has been valued at £295,000. Time to meet the trendsetter himself, and with matching shades of green, I must be in fashion.
So, Richard, your house is very spick and span. You're obviously very house-proud. Why, then, do you now want to kind of consider house swapping?
I think, basically, I'm somebody that's moved from the city into the town, and I want to go back. London's quite cosmopolitan. I've got friends. I've got family there. So I want to go back and be able to, you know, just enjoy being in London again.
You've got a hunger for city living again?
I have. I want to get on the tube. I want to be pushed up next to somebody. That's
squashed under someone's armpit. Oh, the joys of London.
That's what I'm looking for. I actually enjoy that. I like being on the tube. I like seeing the variety that London has to offer. So those are my motivations, I suppose.
So we're obviously looking in London for your house swap. What kind of areas would you like to live in, or are you just...
I'd like to live in the best areas, but I have to look...
Wouldn't we all?
In my budget. So anywhere near a tube station, anywhere near... I'm quite fit, so I like parks, gyms, that sort of stuff.
All right, then what about the style of property? What is it you have in mind, or are you open-minded?
I'm open-minded because I like to be surprised, but I don't think I'd get a 3-bedroom house similar to this condition in London. So I'm quite realistic about what I should expect to get.
Okie dokie. Then the other thing we need to talk about that is also very, very critical and crucial is how much this is worth and how much you want to house swap up to.
OK.
All right.
Well, I had an evaluation and it came in at around 295.
Is that the value you want to swap to, or is there some more money to put in the pot? Or?
Well, I do have other properties, so I could look at maybe reinvesting some money from there into this. I'm open to that.
OK, I like it. You're like a Russian gymnast. You're flexible. Right, should we go and watch some, go and look at some houses?
Yes.
Let's do that. OK, so first up, where are we going, do you think? We're somewhere in the capital. We are going to Wimbledon.
Wimbledon?
Wimbledon.
Oh, I like that.
OK.
Yeah, I like Wimbledon.
And I want you to meet Matthew and Anna as they show us around their house.
OK, brilliant.
Hi, and welcome to West Wimbledon. We're the Thomas family.
Behind us is our first floor Victorian 3-bedroom maisonette.
Now through to our living room. Probably my favourite room in the house and certainly where we spend a lot of our time.
One of the things that I like about the room is the high ceilings. It gives it a feeling of spaciousness, and also the fireplace. We love putting the fireplace on in the winter because where we come from in Melbourne, Australia, it's not too often that you get to do things like light a fireplace nowadays.
Now this is the only part of the house that isn't completed. Matt has been hard at work renovating our kitchen, moving the sink, new cabinets, and we've painted, but we're still to put splashbacks and do a bit more painting. But I've done nothing in this room. It's all my very practical husband.
We've got 3 bedrooms in the flat, and this is the smallest room in the house.
Oh, that sounds like the girls are awake. Let's go and see them. Oh, so this is the girls' room.
Hello, Sophie.
These two are the very lovely reason that we have to move on, to give them a bit more space to run about. In here is our bedroom, the main bedroom, which is where we would really like to spend some more time sleeping, but with 1.5-year-old twins, sadly we don't get as much sleep as we'd like to.
Well, this is our back garden. It's great to have a garden at the front and a garden at the back, but as you can see, it's not really up to scratch for the summer yet.
So we will be tidying up soon. Just down the hill, we've got Rains Park Station, which will take you into Waterloo in under 20 minutes.
And if you head up the hill, it's about 10 minutes walk to Wimbledon Village. Really great restaurants, pubs, and the Wimbledon Common, which is a really great place to spend time on a weekend. We had the house valued around $340,000.
Matthew and Anna's Wimbledon home is a 3-bedroom, first-floor maisonette with front and back gardens. So what would they like to swap to?
We have been here 4 years, but it's just too small for us now.
We only expected 1 baby at a time.
Ideally, we're looking for a 3-bedroom, 3 proper-sized bedrooms, or 4 bedrooms.
Perhaps a bit further out in southwest London that's still commutable into town. So that's our home. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you'd like to do a swap, just let us know.
Say goodbye, girls. Go on.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Come on, Kate. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Kate didn't want to wave goodbye.
No, she didn't, did she?
No, she really didn't. Right, what did you think of that property?
I really like the kitchen. I thought the kitchen was really nice.
I know why you like the kitchen.
Why is that?
It's green.
Yeah, well...
It's the in colour of the moment, let's be honest about it.
Trendsetting.
We are. Together we are setting trends.
The small bedroom, I thought that was really more of a study than I would say a bedroom.
With the bunk beds.
Yeah.
It looked quite tight.
Well, I like the garden. I mean, it's manageable.
Yeah, it looked like you'd already been doing the gardening there, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And the area, I like Wimbledon. I think Wimbledon is a really great area to live.
Yeah.
And it's got good, good
links and stuff.
Good links into central London. So yeah, it was okay.
Well, look, let's leave Wimbledon for a minute and let's look at another property. Does South Woodford mean anything to you?
Is that North London?
No.
No, it's east.
Yes.
It's East London.
It's east. South Woodford is out East London, just past the Olympic site.
Oh, great.
So a lot of stuff's happening out there. So I think we should take a look at this.
Yeah.
So we're going to now meet Jamie and Venetia as they show us around their property.
Brilliant.
Hello, I'm Jamie.
I'm Venetia, and welcome to our home in South Woodford.
Come in and have a look. The house itself is a 3-bedroom end of terrace Victorian house.
As you come in through the doorway, we've got a nice, typical Victorian hallway, which leads straight on into the living room.
With a lovely bay window, so that's a really nice family social room that we enjoy living in. So welcome to our kitchen. This is where all the action happens.
And we have views straight out into the garden. As you can see, all my family are out there.
So this is our family bathroom. It's actually a freestanding bath and a shower. It's actually got jet washers as well, so it's quite powerful. We're all fighting over it to get in there in the morning.
This is the master bedroom.
As you can see, we've actually got a Super King bed in here, so you can see that it's got enough space to hold a big bed as well, which is nice.
This is the second bedroom. Young Drew and Kira sleep here. Also have the future property here, which is something which they're looking to put a deposit on soon.
You're cracking me up.
Come up to the second floor and we can see a third bedroom. So the garden in general is very easy to maintain. It doesn't take any time at all. We describe it as a sort of a wild garden in terms of the flowers and vegetation. And the path leads up to a large garage and workshop area. This is when I go when I need to get away from the family.
You get away from
a bit
it.
of peace and quiet, you know?
This area, it's got a real village feel to it. We've also got a lot of nice bars, restaurants, and yeah, there's loads and loads of choice.
So the current value of our property is £360,000.
Jamie and Venetia's house is a 3-bed end of terrace in South Woodford with a fantastic garden and large garage. So what would they want for their swap?
So the reasons we want to move really is a lot more scenery and greenery is something that appeals to us, and also it's a chance to try something new as well. The type of property we're looking for is, I think we were quite open-minded in that respect. We would consider almost any property type.
Well, that's our house, and we hope you liked it.
If you'd like to swap, perhaps we'll speak soon.
I love the way they wave.
Yeah.
OK, what did you think of the house?
I thought it was really nice, actually. I really liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that it's big. You know, it's got some of the original features there. And the area, you know, I think they said 5 stops from Bank, which is, again, really good.
Yeah.
So I think that it's got a lot going for it. And plus, with East London, I mean, with the Olympic Village coming along,
yeah,
things are going to change. And not just for that, but also when the Olympics is gone, you're going to have lots of different parks, lots of different sports.
The legacy the Olympics are going to leave behind in that part of London are going to be huge. And I guess the ripple effect of that affecting somewhere like South Woodford would also be quite noticeable.
I think so. And to be honest, the house has a lot going for it, I think, as well.
OK, so for the third and final property, you want somewhere vibrant, somewhere of real energy, real vitality, a real cosmopolitan melting pot. Then I say to you, Camden.
Ah. Yeah, that's interesting.
OK, how do you feel about Camden?
I've never considered living there, but then now when you've suggested it to me, all these possibilities have come into my head.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's not waste any more time. Let's see it.
Hello, I'm Ed.
And I'm Nikki.
And welcome to our garden flat just off Mornington Crescent in Camden Town.
Today we're going to show you around. We hope you like it.
This house was built in 1832 and it was originally built as a dairy and it was converted about 30 years ago.
We've made lots of changes to the flat since we've lived here, as we've been here so long now, 13 years. But now it's really how we like it, with solid wood floors and all painted white, which I like best.
In here, we've got our vault rooms. There's 3 vault rooms in total running through. We use it as a dining room at the moment. It used to be the old scullery down here, and if you come down to our secret room down at the bottom, this room here used to be the actual coal cellar. Right, and coming through, here's the bathroom. It's been recently refurbished. My wife loves having a shower, I like having a bath, so this has got a proper standing area in the bath so that you don't slip around and fall over every time you take a wash.
And this is our beautiful kitchen. We've got solid granite work surfaces.
Fitted appliances, built-in washing machine and fridge as well.
Built-in dishwasher and fridge.
Oh right, yes, built-in
And
dishwasher.
cooker.
I don't really use it very much, to be honest.
No, clearly. This is the smaller of our 2 bedrooms, which we've been using as our son's nursery. We really like the fact that you can walk upstairs to bed, and this is our master bedroom. is a very quiet room as it's right at the back of the house and means you get a great night's sleep, which is great in the centre of London.
This is our garden. It's beautifully secluded and southwest facing, so we get the sun in it.
Not only can you sit down here in our lovely patio area, but you've also got another level to the garden up these stairs, which has plenty of room for sun loungers.
It's our favourite bit of living here, really, isn't it?
Yes.
I think Samuel Johnson said if you're tired of London, you're tired of life. Well, I think if you're tired of Camden, you're tired of life.
Our flat's in a fantastic location because it's so close to the West End. You can actually walk there through Regent's Park, which is only 5 minutes up the road. We now have it on the market at $480,000.
Ed and Nikki's home is a pretty two-bedroom garden flat in the centre of bustling Camden. So, what's their ideal swap?
We'd like to move on from here because our son Casper is now 3. He needs a bigger garden and I'd like to be closer to my mum in Surrey so I get more babysitting. Thank you for looking round our flat with us.
I hope you enjoyed its unique character and location.
And if you'd like to swap, then give us a call.
Right, OK.
For me, I don't really like that, to be honest.
OK. You're allowed to. You're allowed an opinion.
I think the location's brilliant, but I think, you know, for what you're getting for your money, I'm not just about postcode.
Yeah.
I mean, postcode is good, but postcode...
Yeah, but you don't sleep on the street, you sleep in the house.
Yeah, and when you close the door, that's your home. And I just think that for £480,000 to live in such confined space, you're really just doing that because you want to live in Camden and you want to be in that type of postcode.
And would you want to live in Camden that much that you would make that sacrifice?
No.
No. Not even for the little cutesy garden that was very, very sweet, very irresistible, and no grass to mow? That's surely got to be tempting.
I think I'd even mow the lawn if it was a bigger flat.
Yeah. If Richard ain't feeling it, then Richard ain't feeling it.
No, I'm not. I just think that it's not for me, really.
Well, here's a question. Do you know which one you like the most now, or do you need some time to think about it?
I think the second one would be the one.
Gut feeling straight away?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, because for me, I'm used to family houses. I'm used to, you know, traditional looking rooms. I think the second one gave me all of those things, so I think that's a good one for me.
You have spoken, and therefore it will happen. The swap house will be number 2 in South Woodford.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, a snap decision there from Richard. Not much deliberation at all. But then, in many ways, because of his fashion-swapping website, he is the swapping expert. So here's hoping that the house fits like a glove. While Richard has another look at the house, Sunita, our house swap negotiator, has some advice. Sunita's been a property negotiator for over 10 years, helping hundreds of clients move onwards and upwards. Her invaluable knowledge will help our swappers negotiate a deal.
If you want to move house quickly, then house swapping could be the answer. Now, there are several websites out there that could help you find your perfect match. You will, of course, still have to have a HIPS report and you will be paying stamp duty. But, crucially, you get to avoid a chain, and if you're not on with an estate agent, you avoid estate agent fees.
Coming up, even on the swap day, Richard can't escape his fetish for fashion.
I think I've got an outfit like this.
But his home furnishings aren't impressing Jamie.
I think you have to do something about the curtains. My grandmother's got a dress like that.
And as things heat up during negotiation, will the deal end in tatters?
His offer would give the differential of £40,000.
He's dreaming.
It's time to swap homes for the day. Richard is on his way to spend a day in Jamie's shoes at the period end of terrace property in South Woodford, East London. Whilst Jamie, minus Venetia, who is looking after the children, is heading south to try the Victorian semi in Surrey on Versailles. They have the chance to exchange lifestyles for the day before they decide if a permanent swap is on the cards. Entrepreneur Richard wants to move back to London to enjoy the vibrant city lifestyle. The house in South Woodford offers easy access to the city, and with a host of local amenities, it should be the perfect fit. If he can find it, that is.
Right, number, what was it again?
It's behind you.
It's here. It's here, actually. Ah. Oh, wow, it's the same floor I've got in my house. Very nice.
Always a good sign.
It looks bigger than it showed on the film. It's very nice, I really like it. It's done to a very high level.
That's an even better sign. 30 miles away, Jamie has arrived in the pretty Surrey town of Epsom. He's keen to move his family out of the city to the greener suburbs. But what will he make of Richard's semi-detached home?
Quite cosy, isn't it? Nice and nice wooden floors.
Yes, what good taste he has.
Fridge in the living room. It's unique.
Maybe it's the start of a new trend?
It's good to have a second room downstairs, isn't it? And to have it separate. Maybe a children's playing area, somewhere for us to escape from the children.
Planning how to use the space already, Jamie, I see.
Plus, you've got the bay window. It lets in a lot of light. I think you have to do something about the curtains, though. I'm sure my grandmother's got a dress like that.
Excuse me, Richard's a fashion guru, don't you know? I wonder how Richard's finding Jamie's taste in furnishings.
I like the wood surfaces. I love the kitchen. I don't think I would change anything about the actual downstairs and the kitchen. I like the layout of it all. There's a lot of love in this room. I can feel it. There's a very family environment.
Richard is feeling the love in South Woodford. But in Epsom, things are a little less romantic.
It's surprisingly good storage, which I'm surprised about. I think it would be better to perhaps cut this piece out and put the fridge from the living room actually into the kitchen.
Revolutionary.
I'm not sure why he's got so many fridges. He's got 1, 2, 3 fridges, but maybe he likes to eat a lot of food.
It's because he's a cool guy. So what about the elephant in the room, the downstairs bathroom?
Yeah, I don't think we find the bathroom particularly practical. Being downstairs, particularly getting ready for work in the morning, I would need to have it upstairs, really. Plus, it's about a quarter of the size of the bathroom we have at the moment.
The first sticking point of the day. In the city, Richard's having a little trouble accessing the bedrooms.
It's very secure. It's like secure areas. I'm wondering if they need ID passes to go from one floor to the other, to be honest.
It might be his first experience of a stairgate, but Richard's found an element of family life he can identify with.
I think I've got an outfit like this, though, but I haven't got a teddy bear. I wear it on special occasions when I'm going partying and stuff.
I should have known. Next stop, the attic conversion.
It is an awkward space, if I'm going to say anything. I don't know if I'd use it for a bedroom, but I wouldn't need to. Maybe this could be the office and the other things could be something else.
Or maybe even a back cave. Back in Epsom, Jamie's made his way upstairs, but is less than impressed with Richard's presentation skills.
He obviously knew we were coming.
But at least he's impressed with the space.
It's quite a decent size, though, isn't it? A double room. Yeah, just could be a good room for the kids. Cot here, cot over there. Yeah, nice and quiet as well, which is ideal.
And what about the decor?
It needs a bit of touching up, doesn't it? The old wallpaper. Venetia would decide on deck decor, and I'd probably attempt to do it. And then after that, we'd probably get someone in to do it properly.
You know your limits, that's what I say. In South Woodford, Richard has discovered Jamie's guilty secret.
Now, somebody is very good at putting up a front of being sporty, because I don't think this has ever been used, to be honest.
You've been outed, Jamie.
It's great, though. I really like that. I love this space. I must have. I love this space. It's a nice little retreat. You can just come through and just sit down and chill. I think it's a very nice house. I'm glad I made this choice. I don't know about the rabbit, though. That'd have to go. I don't do pets. Sorry.
Hair today, gone tomorrow. Time for our swappers to get out and explore the local area. And less than inspired by Jamie's home gym, Richard's off to check out the professional option.
What do you think is going to change about the area with the Olympics coming?
I think it's not just a case of the sort of more facilities that are being built as a result of the Olympics, but I think a general upgrade and improvement on facilities already here as a result of the Olympics.
So I'm going to maybe take a run over there today after I finish this, because I think my shoulders are looking big, aren't they?
Yeah, they're looking good.
So I don't really need to do any more of that, do you think?
No more of that,
okay,
no.
Excellent.
In Surrey, Jamie's found a different way to work his muscles. As he relaxes at Epsom's famous racecourse with racing fan Simon.
Do you have to be a horse fanatic interested in racing to move to Epsom?
No, of course not, but the great thing about the racecourse is the fact that the middle of the racecourse is Epsom Downs, which is like our most wonderful local facility, recreational facility that everybody gets to use.
Richard's keen to see the Olympic site 5 miles away in Stratford. But being Richard, he's not taking the bus. Oh no. Surely he's just showing off now.
150, a big box of strawberries!
So it'd be a real pleasure, actually, being able to run this distance and to have such a beautiful site, but it is amazing. So I think London's going to be an exciting time in 2012, if this is anything to go by. And maybe I might even be living there by then.
Our swappers have spent the day testing out each other's homes and lifestyles, but is a permanent swap on the cards?
I certainly could imagine myself, the family and the children here on the Downs. It is beautiful, very peaceful, a lot of open space. You don't think you're particularly close to London or a major centre, so yeah, it does hold a lot of appeal, I must say.
I think it's great. I don't know why they're moving. I can see why they would want to go to Epsom, though, because as a family, with a family, it's a great place to be. So I think there's some synergy between what I want and hopefully what they want, and then maybe it'll work out.
The swap day seems to have been a great success, but there's a lot for everyone to consider. Is a permanent swap on the horizon? Only tomorrow will tell.
Now that's all over and done with, it's time for things to get serious. And when I say serious, I don't mean in a kind of dull, dry metaphysics kind of a way. I mean serious in a kind of wild tension drama kind of a way. Yes, it's time for some hefty negotiations to see if a permanent house swap is on the cards. And it's with a serious tone of voice that I introduce our talented negotiator, Sunita.
Sunita Shroff has been helping people find their dream properties and agree the best price for them for over 10 years. She'll be using her expertise to negotiate a deal for our swappers.
Negotiating can be a tricky and even emotional process, and the properties won't necessarily be valued at the same price. So it's my job to get both sides to agree on a fair and realistic price to swap. But house swapping isn't all about the money. It's about avoiding that awful chain, potentially avoiding the estate agent's fees, and of course of months of your property being on the market. So if both sides are prepared to negotiate, they could walk away with a great deal.
So let's remind ourselves of what Sunita has to bargain with. Richard has the Victorian semi in Epsom valued at £295,000. He wants to move back to London to enjoy the vibrant city lifestyle. Jamie has the end of terrace period property in South Woodford valued at £360,000. He wants to move his family out of the city to enjoy a healthier lifestyle in the greener suburbs. So, first things first, what's the feedback?
Now, Richard, you wanted to move
closer to the centre, didn't you?
That's right,
Of London.
yeah.
And you chose to go and visit the house in South Woodford. What did you think?
It was very bright and very white, and the good thing about it was an end of terraced house, so that really ticked my box. The back of the house, where I think it was a converted garage, that was a really special place, I suppose. That space could really be utilised. There's so much possibilities. So that was, for me, one of the major selling points.
And what about the cons?
The negative, I would say, was the third bedroom when you went upstairs into the loft. The area was so confined and the spaces were so awkward that I didn't really rate that room at all. But the other features in the house really make up for that.
So, Jamie, you went to visit the property in Epsom. What did you think were the pros?
I think the pros were the location. It was very close to the high street, so very practical for commuting. Parkland behind the house, so very green from that point of view, so a lot of healthy air.
So the actual property itself, what about the layout?
I like the fact it's got two rooms downstairs, which are quite versatile. I like the fact that it's got 3 decent-sized bedrooms. That's quite useful. But the downside really is the bathroom downstairs, which isn't great for, of course, bathing the children. Again, that led on to the kitchen, which is quite small.
And I think there's a lot of potential with this property, isn't there, to put your own stamp on it?
Yeah, I think you could. I think it does need work from a decor point of view. Yeah, I think you got the basics there and a lot to work with that house in Epsom. Yeah.
Time to move the discussions onto the finances.
Now, the Epsom property has been valued at $295,000. What do you think the value's worth?
Well, I did some research on the internet, looked at some equivalent properties. The house doesn't need a lot of work. Probably put a value of about maybe $260 on it, to be quite honest.
And I'd be inclined to agree with you, actually. OK, so if a house swap were to occur, your property is on the market at $360,000. So do you feel that the fair differential would be £100,000?
£100,000 and anything else he wants to give, perhaps.
Oh, Jamie.
You've got to ask him there.
Right, Jamie, the property's been valued at £360,000. What do you feel it's worth?
I don't think it's worth that at all, no. For me, space and value for money is really important. I'd have thought maybe around $330, if that, yeah.
I agree with you. I think knocking 10% or thereabouts off is about right. Moving on to what Jamie thought your property was worth, he felt it would be closer to $260,000.
That price needs to go up, definitely, from him if he's really serious about the house.
You need to bear in mind, with your property, he would need to do a lot of work. The downstairs bathroom, that's not a great layout for him.
No.
And also the kitchen's a little bit on the small side, but it's workable.
If he's looking at an extension there for that, it's going to cost him next to nothing, which will give him, actually the kitchen would be bigger than the kitchen he already has in. That's going to give significant value to the house. So again, I have to think about what potential I'm going to be giving up by giving it to somebody else to develop on that, and obviously to put the money into their back pocket. The 260 is completely ridiculous, to be honest.
Let's talk differentials then.
Okay.
So Jamie was suggesting a differential of $100,000. What do you feel would be the fair differential?
I think that, the house market is so volatile at the moment. We don't know where it's going, to be honest.
No.
And it could change very rapidly. I mean, I had quotes on the house 2 years ago for around $320. You can't take 320 and give it away at 260. Doesn't make sense, does it, when you think about it?
Yeah, but 322 years ago, unfortunately, that was when the market was at its peak. I mean, it's terrible because it's not just you suffering. Everyone is having to take a price reduction.
Yeah. Well, I think from 320 to 295 is a price reduction, isn't it?
Not much.
Well,
if I'm honest,
it's not much, but it is a reduction.
It is a reduction. Okay. You're making the gesture.
And there's maybe ways to negotiate around that figure, but I don't see it going down nowhere near to 260.
So what are we going to take back to Jamie then?
I think that, maybe 290. I'm willing to take another 5,000 off.
So if you say 290 and 330 for Jamie's property, that gives a spread of 40,000.
I think it's excellent news, and to do it with a smile, because he'll be more accommodating then. I'm sure you will.
Richard has put forward a suggested swap of his property in Epsom plus £40,000 in exchange for Jamie's South Woodford home. But the offer is £60,000 less than what Jamie wants. So, what will he make of the deal?
Richard felt that £206,000 was far too low. It's been valued at £295,000 and he wants somewhere in that region. On the other hand, he in turn felt that your property might be worth about £330,000.
Okay.
If we did go with, obviously, his offer, which is his property at £290,000 versus your property at £330,000, that would give the differential of £40,000.
He's dreaming. No, no chance. His house needs a lot of work. It's not ready to move into, is it? So that's the main reason. We'd probably have to spend 40, 50,000 to get it up to a similar standard. I know he's obviously trying to drive a hard bargain, but not on this occasion.
So what do you think would be more realistic?
Well, if he's passionate about the house, he might want to push a bit further with the financial side of things. So, as a starting point, possibly if he can drop his price by a bit further to reflect the difference of, say, 80,000 between the two properties, I think that would be a fair option.
Sunita, we would like an update, please.
Well, they're both standing their ground. We've got Richard in one corner that's saying that no, he's not going to budge because his property really is worth a lot more because there's room for improvement. And then we've got Jamie in the other corner that's saying, well, my property's worth a lot more as well because I've actually made those improvements.
Right, OK, so you've got locked horns.
We certainly do.
If that's the case, will anybody break? And if so, who?
If only I knew that.
Only an hour into this negotiation and we've yet another suggested deal on the table. Jamie is offering his South Woodford house in exchange for Richard's Epsom home, plus an additional £80,000. Let's see how Richard takes this one.
What did he say?
After much negotiation, he's decided that he feels £80,000.
I knew he was going to come back with 80, actually. I just had that view, that thought in my mind. He's getting a little bit more than that I will be getting.
But he feels that he would have to plough a lot of money into the property.
Well, he can actually move in. There's nothing that he needs actually to physically do to that property. I'm not trying to be flippant about it because I'm not putting him down in any way. Cause he, but I'm just giving it as it is. If he wants to move there, he can move right in there with nothing to be done.
But he does like a big bathroom. You saw he had a double sink.
And I like to have a Lamborghini parked outside, but that's not going to happen, is it? If there's going to be any compromise, it should be on his part. I could sit and wait till the property goes up.
But you don't want to. You want a house swap. You want to move. You want to move on.
I could use that £80,000 to get a little flat in London.
You couldn't.
I could use that £80,000 to get a little box in London.
A garage.
But I could still live there.
£40,000 is going to be too low. And you clearly think £80,000 is too high. I feel, in my opinion, a fair price to swap would be £60,000. And I think you'd both be walking away with a good deal. Because at the end of the day, Richard, your property is not worth as much as his property. They're both different values. So you've got to factor that in.
I can't make any promises, but I think I'm willing to consider that.
Time to put the final deal to Jamie.
I think the fair differential would be £60,000.
What's that based on?
Well, that's based on the fact that I don't think your property's too far out, and I don't think his property's too far out either. I mean, there is a substantial difference, but I think it's only £60,000. It's all down to you whether you feel that is worth it for you, whether you feel that that area warrants £60,000 differential, whether the property has got enough space to invest in. So all of that sort of thing you really need to think about.
OK, cool.
After 3 hours of tense negotiation, the final deal stands at Richard's house in Epsom, plus £60,000 in exchange for Jamie's home in South Woodford. The deal offers our swappers the chance of a much-wanted change of lifestyle. But will that be enough for our two tough customers to accept the deal? It's decision time.
So, Richard and Jamie, now we're standing here holding these great big golden keys, but for a reason. They will reveal if there is a deal that has been done. Okay. Is there a swap or not? I think I'm going to go to Richard first. In 3, 2, 1, let's have a look. Okay, half a deal on the table. There was a strange noise or a sigh coming from over here. Let's see your key in 3, 2, 1. Jamie. OK, so I've got to go to you first. So, why is it a not swap?
I just feel it's going to be a lot of work, a lot of aggro. We've just done up a house, so it's going to be back to square one doing it again.
And you've got the kids?
And the children.
Never underestimate how hard it is to do a house up with kids.
Yes, I've done it before, so I know how painful it can be.
But you, Richard, with your green key, it was obviously a good deal that worked for you.
Yeah, it did. It worked mainly because of the area, to be honest. I like the idea of going back into London. I think it would have been a good swap.
Well, all I can say is it's disappointing we get to this end result, but I think you've both got great homes in great locations, and thank you very much for sharing them with us.
Yeah, a bit disappointed with the result. I think Venetia and I would keep looking. We'd consider house swap, consider using estate agents, and I think it's been a good, fun process, and it's really opened our eyes to what's in the marketplace.
I think the process has worked. I'm not disappointed. I just think there's opportunities now to swap with somebody else.
Well, half a deal. Shame it wasn't a full house swap, but a valiant effort by all. And those people who try to do something and fail are infinitely better than those who do nothing and succeed. So let's try again next time on House Swap.